The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When the Pharisees heard that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a scholar of the law, tested him by asking, "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these two commandments." The Gospel of the Lord. I was told a story once from an old parishioner. Her daughter was going to a major public university. And as they do at public universities, they brought a speaker in to talk about different issues that was going on in the world. And this particular topic of the day was the continent of Africa and all the different issues and problems and challenges that continent faces. And she ran down through all the issues. And then one of the kids raised her hand and asked the speaker, "All the problems you just laid out, what gives you hope? Because it seems so insurmountable, all of the issues and problems." And then the speaker, you're not a religious person at all, without skipping a beat, said, "What gives me hope there on that continent is the Catholic Church." And everyone was stunned, like, "Whoa, the Catholic, what are you talking about?" What she meant by that was because we build the hospitals, the schools, the universities, the soup kitchens, the orphanages. So who runs all of those on that continent? We do. And here was this secular person in a secular university praising the church. And then I don't say this to make ourselves feel better and not to pat ourselves on the back, but no, because it is part of our long tradition. When the emperor was now known as Emperor Justin the Apostate, because when Rome eventually converted to Catholicism, the whole empire became Catholic. There was one emperor there who tried to reverse the influence of the Catholic Church, to supplant it. And you know what this apostate emperor did? Shut down all of our hospitals and our schools and tried to make secular versions of it. He didn't last. Justin the Apostate eventually died. And then the church came back again, as we always do. Or again, when you look at who invented the university system? Well, again, we did. All those universities in the world are Catholic. Why do graduates wear gowns? Well, because the first graduates were clerics. Again, why am I boasting about? I'm not boasting, but rather because it's all rooted here. Look at the gospel. Why do we waste our time building hospitals, orphanages, soup kitchens, universities? Because Jesus commands every single one of us. Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. And when you look at the vast 2,000-year history of the church, at our best, we've attempted that. Saint Aloysius Gonzaga, born in 1568, born to a noble Italian family, becomes a Jesuit priest. He could have inherited palaces and lands, but he forgo that. He said, I don't want any of that. I sign away my rights. Became a priest. A plague breaks out in Rome. The Jesuits had built another hospital to take care of those inflicted with the plague. And St. Aloysius, Father Aloysius, would tend to their needs. He would go to the streets begging for alms. He would eventually contract a disease which he had helped, and he would die. Again, why? He could have lived a life of luxury. It's the same reason why we try to build hospitals and schools and orphanages and soup kitchens. We're trying to love Jesus. And we love him precisely with how we treat one another. It's that simple. It's that simple. Love God with all of your heart, mind, and strength. And go out and build those hospitals, universities, and orphanages, and soup kitchens. You go out and visit the sick, the poor, the brokenhearted. That is why there is always hope wherever we, the Catholic Church, are present.